welcome back to All Day Live. Simone Woolridge joining me now. You've been covering an event for us. Something that happened this morning. It was a special city council meeting in Nisswa, Minnesota, which is in Lakes Country.
Small town.
Yep, small town.
Only about 4 council members.
Okay.
But they have had a lot of turnover over the last couple of years. So they talked about how, for instance, the city administrator, they're on their 5th city administrator in the last 7 months.
Yeah.
And a lot of this is what they say allegedly at the hands of the mayor there, Mayor Jennifer Carnahan. So backstory here, we have done some stories on her before. One of them when she was the former chair of the Minnesota GOP. She resigned when her husband was diagnosed with cancer. She then ended up running for his seat, did not win that. But his family did file a lawsuit saying that she failed to pay back some medical expenses. So that's kind of the backstory. There has been quite a few stories about her, again, over the years. So fast forward to today, what happened this morning. Councilmember Bruce London called this meeting. He essentially had a piece of paper basically naming everything that was in a police report, what she has been accused of, and it has something to do with a woman named Sophie Foster. Sophie Foster worked at a business that the mayor was at, and I just kind of want to run you through some of my notes because it kind of gets confusing.
There's a lot,
yeah, there's a lot to unpack here in things that are being thrown out and that she's accused of. So basically, Sophie Foster heard this quote, loud and rude conversation that she heard being had by the mayor, Jennifer Carnahan, and it was about a sitting city council member, and his name is Jesse Zahn. So she said something along the lines of, and this is their quote, something like, if you just embarrass him to get him to resign. So then Sophie Foster, the woman, she ends up writing an email to the mayor and also the council members saying, you know what, you need to apologize for what you said. And then they end up seeing each other later on in the day, and that's when some sort of altercation is had there. There was, I guess I can try to say this with some bleeps. The mayor allegedly said there is that bee that sent the email, referring to Sophie Foster. Again, some sort of altercation is had. Then the mayor calls the police, files a report against her for assault. And again, this is where it gets, you know, tricky. But she did reference the email, but she ended up saying that Sophie said that she was a, quote, piece of crap human and should not be mayor. Of course, police are going to ask for the evidence in that. She sends over the email. Police say, you know, we don't see that verbiage in the email. So police asked for proof. The city council says that proof is not there because that was not in that email, and they then referred it to the Nisswa city prosecutor and a law firm, and they decided not to file any charges. So again, this morning what happened, they opened it up to public comment. Quite a few people were there. We couldn't see from the video, but they did reference and say it was a packed house pretty much. The interesting thing, the mayor did not show up. But her mother did. So her mom was in that meeting. The people who did talk in public comment, they were only allowed about 2 minutes. So they were getting cut off in some of their comments. But I did want to play, because we do have a couple of sound bites here. One of them, I believe we're going to start with her mom. Let's listen to that first, and then we're going to butt it against a couple of other sound bites, which is with 2 council members. One of them, I believe, it's hard to tell who's who because they don't say the actual names, but I tried to reference what's on the website as far as who is on the sitting city council to see if it looks like them. But I believe one of the gentlemen who talks is the one that she mentioned in that conversation about how to get him to step down.
Okay, let's play what we can,
I was a little shocked when I read the email from Sophie as to what had transpired, and I was shocked that a council member would be in public discussing with constituents how to remove another sitting councilman from their seat, and that's up to the elections and individuals.
This council and this city have been severely hampered by the politicking when it should be focusing efforts on providing its residents the best services at our disposal. This council has never displayed acts of sexism, racism, or bigotry to any other fellow member of this council or member of this community. This council is not a good old boys club. We have earnestly attempted to embrace collaborate, and respect our elected mayor's leadership since she took office. The conduct of the mayor and the public has yet again shown that the feelings are not mutual towards this council and perhaps even this city.
So I'm just going to say one thing. We need to remember that there's two sides to this story. And even though there wasn't a prosecution of anyone, just because Jennifer says it's one way, I of course believe her, but I only had a response. I just want to say I only had a response from one council member, and he said in his response, I would be disappointed to hear that Jennifer suffered bigotry in Nisswa. So I'm just going to tell you two quick incidents that happened to her when she was running for mayor. When she was canvassing door to door, a man came out of his house and said, "Get off my property. I don't allow Chinese people on my lawn." And in a bar, a man said to her, "We like our women blue-eyed and blonde-haired up here." If that doesn't show bigotry, I'm not quite sure what does.
Yeah, so I know we're running out of time here, but really quickly, you might be asking, what's coming up next. They are, of course, asking the mayor at this point to resign and also to respond because, again, she did not show up, but who you just heard there is her mom.
Okay, and we did reach out to her. I have not heard back.
Not yet.
Following this for later this afternoon, so we'll have a lot more on this. All right, thanks, Simone.
Of course.
We'll be right back.